preparing for a huge emotional goodbye as legendary host Stephen Colbert gets ready to leave his iconic desk at Mark the Late Show. Fans across America are still trying to process the shocking news, and now fellow comedians and celebrities are reacting in their own emotional and sometimes hilarious ways. With only 8 days left before Mark Colbert officially signs off, many of the biggest names in entertainment gathered to celebrate his incredible journey in television. The farewell became even more memorable when the comedy podcast group known as Strikeforce 5, made up of famous late-night hosts, reunited for a special tribute. During the emotional conversation, Stephen Colbert joked about already packing his office before the final episode had even aired. He laughed while saying that the network was probably ready to tear everything down immediately after he leaves. The audience burst into laughter as he sarcastically mentioned that his staff might not even get paid the next day because everything was ending so quickly. Even though he delivered the comments with humor, fans could feel the emotion behind his words. After nearly a decade of hosting one of television's biggest late-night programs, the idea of leaving behind the studio, crew, and audience clearly carries a deep emotional weight. Still, Mark Colbert appeared calm and surprisingly positive while talking about his future. When asked what he plans to do after the show officially ends, he explained that his personal life is currently full of important family events. He revealed that his son is graduating from college on the 18th, his show ends on the 21st, and his brother's wedding takes place on the 23rd. The comedian joked that he feels sandwiched between life moments that are probably more important than television. The comment gave fans a rare glimpse of audiences that even huge TV stars are deeply connected to family milestones. After the show finally ends, Mark Stephen Colbert responded with a laugh and admitted he may eventually start a podcast. The audience immediately reacted with excitement because podcasts have become the new home for many famous television personalities after leaving network TV. The farewell celebration became even more emotional when Hollywood stars began appearing. Actress Julia Louis-Dreyfus shared a heartfelt goodbye moment with the host, while actor Pedro Pascal also joined in to celebrate the comedian's final days on television. Both stars shared warm words and affectionate moments with Colbert, proving how respected and loved he is throughout the entertainment industry. Fans online quickly flooded social media with clips of the emotional exchanges, calling the goodbye bittersweet and the end of an era. One especially meaningful moment came when viewers learned that David Letterman, the legendary former host of Mark the Late Show, would return for a special appearance. Since Mark Letterman helped define modern late-night television for decades, his involvement in the farewell instantly became one of the biggest stories surrounding the final episodes. Many fans began speculating about who would appear as Mark Colbert's final guest. Rumors quickly spread that Hollywood superstar George Clooney could make the final appearance. Interestingly, was also Mark Colbert's very first guest when he took over the show back in 2015, making the possible reunion feel poetic and emotional. While many celebrities focused on celebrating Mark Stephen Colbert's incredible legacy, comedian Jimmy Kimmel took a different approach by injecting some humor into the situation. During Disney's annual Upfront presentation, Kimmel made headlines with a joke about who could potentially replace Mark Colbert on CBS. He sarcastically said, "It's bad enough to lose your job. Imagine getting replaced by the owner of the Weather Channel." The crowd immediately burst into laughter because the joke referenced media mogul Byron Allen, who owns the Weather Channel and many other television properties. Even though the comment was clearly made for laughs, it quickly spread across social media and entertainment news outlets. The joke also sparked curiosity among many viewers who suddenly began asking the same question. How exactly did Byron Allen become so rich? For years, quietly built one of the most impressive media empires in America. While many casual TV viewers know him only as a comedian or television host, business insiders see him as one of the smartest entrepreneurs in the entertainment industry. His journey to billionaire status actually started when he was just a teenager. Byron Allen once explained in an interview that he began writing jokes professionally at only 14 years old. At the time, he wrote material for comedian Jimmy Walker, who was famous for starring in the hit sitcom Mark Goodtimes. He earned $25 for every joke he wrote. While that amount may not sound huge today, it completely changed his life at the time. He proudly remembered receiving that first payment and realizing he could actually build a career in comedy. The young comedian became so inspired that he quit his paper route job because he believed he could truly succeed in entertainment. That early confidence would eventually help shape one of the largest independent media companies in America. At only 18 years old, Mark Byron Allen received another life-changing opportunity when he appeared on Mark the Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson. During that era, performing on Mark Johnny Carson's legendary show was considered the ultimate dream for stand-up comedians. Many comedy legends became famous overnight after appearing on the program, and Mark Allen was no exception. The appearance gave him credibility in Hollywood and opened doors throughout the television industry. However, unlike many comedians who focus only on performing, Mark Byron Allen began thinking like a businessman very early in his career. Instead of chasing only acting roles or stand-up specials, he started producing inexpensive syndicated television shows. One of his most notable early projects was Mark Entertainers with Byron Allen, which featured celebrity interviews and entertainment news. The strategy turned out to be brilliant. Because the shows were produced at relatively low costs and distributed widely across local stations, they became extremely profitable. Mark Allen slowly expanded his company and created more programs that could run on multiple networks across America. Over time, his television empire grew bigger and bigger. Today, Mark Byron Allen owns and operates dozens of successful television programs, including Comics Unleashed and Mark Funny You Should Ask Ark. These shows became staples of syndicated television and generated enormous advertising revenue. But television shows were only the beginning. Allen eventually began purchasing entire television networks and media companies. One of his biggest business moves came in 2018 when he bought Mark the Weather Channel in a deal reportedly worth around $300 million. The purchase shocked many people in the entertainment industry because few comedians had ever transitioned into major media ownership at that level. Suddenly, Mark Byron Allen was no longer just a funny television personality. He was a serious media mogul, competing with some of the biggest corporations in America. And he didn't stop there. Reports later revealed that Mark Allen had invested roughly $1 billion into purchasing television affiliates connected to major networks like Mark ABC Mark NBC Mark CBS and Mark Fox These investments dramatically expanded his influence across the American media landscape. While many celebrities spend fortunes on luxury lifestyles, Mark Allen spent his money acquiring media infrastructure and broadcast power. That strategy transformed him into one of the wealthiest entertainment executives in the country. Recently, Byron Allen made headlines again after announcing plans to purchase a controlling stake in Mark BuzzFeed for approximately $120 million. The move signals that he is now expanding beyond traditional television and into digital media platforms as well. Industry experts believe these aggressive business decisions could make Mark Allen even more powerful in the future, as audiences continue shifting from cable television toward online entertainment and streaming content. Ironically, while many viewers laugh at Jimmy Kimmel's joke about the Weather Channel owner replacing Stephen Colbert, the reality is that Byron Allen has become one of the most influential figures in modern entertainment. In fact, some fans online pointed out that replacing a late-night legend with a billionaire media owner almost sounds believable in today's entertainment world. Meanwhile, audiences continue preparing emotionally for Stephen Colbert's final episodes. Since taking over The Late Show in 2015, he successfully transformed the program into one of the most talked about late-night shows on television. His mix of political humor, celebrity interviews, satire, and emotional storytelling helped him connect with millions of viewers across America and around the world. Over the years, Mark Colbert interviewed presidents, movie stars, musicians, athletes, and cultural icons. He also guided audiences through major historical events, including elections, the pandemic, Hollywood strikes, and countless breaking news moments. For many fans, his departure represents more than just the ending of a television program. It symbolizes the closing chapter of a specific era in American late-night comedy. Social media has been flooded with emotional reactions from fans thanking Stephen Colbert for years of laughter and comfort. Many viewers admitted they grew up watching him and now feel as if they are saying goodbye to an old friend. Some fans are hopeful that Colbert's rumored podcast plans could allow him to stay connected with audiences in a more personal and relaxed format. Podcasts have already become hugely successful for many former television personalities because they allow longer conversations and greater creative freedom. Others believe streaming services like Netflix, YouTube, or Spotify could eventually offer Colbert new opportunities after network television. No matter what happens next, there is little doubt that Stephen Colbert leaves behind a remarkable legacy. At the same time, the growing spotlight on Byron Allen proves that the entertainment industry is changing rapidly. Modern media success is no longer limited to actors, hosts, or comedians. As the countdown continues toward Stephen Colbert, fans are preparing for tears, laughter, surprise celebrity appearances, and unforgettable final moments. Whether it's emotional farewell kisses from stars like Julia Louis-Dreyfus and Pedro Pascal, legendary appearances from David Letterman, or viral jokes from Jimmy Kimmel, one thing is clear: the entertainment world is fully united in celebrating Stephen Colbert's extraordinary career. And while audiences say goodbye to one late-night icon, they are also witnessing the continued rise of another major entertainment figure, billionaire businessman Byron Allen. From writing jokes as a teenager to owning television networks worth billions, his story sounds almost unbelievable, yet it perfectly captures how unpredictable and fascinating Hollywood can be. As viewers wait for Colbert's emotional final sign-off, fans everywhere are left wondering what the future of late-night television will look like next. One thing is certain: the industry will never be exactly the same again.